Olaleye on a 2-count charge of defilement of a child and sexual assault by penetration. The judge ruled that the defendants should serve life imprisonment for count 1 and the same for count 2, which should run concurrently. Jide, Femi Olaleye is in trouble.
Yeah, it is because clearly the facts were presented by the court. Among the witnesses against him were his wife, who lodged the complaint in the first place, a forensic child examiner, a police inspector, as well as another policeman. In all, there were 7 witnesses. 7 witnesses against him, despite the fact that he earlier pleaded not guilty. And I'm particularly happy that the Lagos State Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court arrived at this judgment without wasting time. This is the sort of thing that we want to see. And I also think that jailing him for life is also the right thing to do, because every society must come up with the right level of deterrence against crime. If rape assumes epidemic proportions in a country, then you must find the right law to tame it. If it is kidnapping, you must find the right law to tame it. At a time when in Uganda, people were defiling and raping people for believing that if they succeeded, if they were carrying the HIV virus and they succeeded in raping a virgin, that they will be cured. That they will be cured instantly of the virus. It takes being demented to think that you will be cured of the AIDS virus by sleeping with an underage girl, by sleeping with a virgin. So, Yoweri Museveni had to come up with a law prescribing death. It was during that period that a woman used a kitchen carving knife to slash off the genitals of a man who was raping her daughter in the farm where both of them were working. So the president just felt that, look, this thing had become a big problem. Let us come up with a law that will address it. And the epidemic of rape came down drastically in Uganda. So I'm happy that the punishment for it in Lagos now is for raping a minor, because that's what this person was charged with. That is sexual assault by penetration. And then the second charge is defiling a minor, because this girl was 15 years at the time when the offense was committed. So a child of 15 has not reached the age of consent. Mm-hmm. Age of consent is anything from 18 years. So at that point, both of you are seen as adults. You are consenting adults. You can agree. You know, it's assumed that you know the implication. You can agree to either have it or not have it, but not a 15-year-old. The 15-year-old has not reached that age. So he has to pay for what he has done. I know that he's going to appeal, but ultimately the will of justice will run. And I think given his status, his stature in the society, I think this conviction sends the clear message that no matter how big you are, don't rape people in Lagos because the long arm of the law will catch you. We are still waiting to see the resolution of a fake prophet who was also accused of sexual
members.
Yes, somebody who made a prediction, you know, that was way off the mark. His own case, we are waiting to see how his own case will be resolved. Hopefully, it won't be long before justice is served in that matter as well.
Mujid, when you look at it, when I noticed that the wife stood as a witness, I just said, this man is done for. Do you understand? Like, for the wife to stand as a witness, to witness against...
Because the victim is her niece.
No, I just... Look, you are not looking for...
You can't rape her niece. A niece that was kept in her care.
As in...
Yeah, it's a sad day for the doctor, evidently so. And, I mean, there was so much social media hype for this case while it was going on. And also, we should also understand that, yeah, justice has been served. But the questions raised by some people while the case was going on was, this thing happened some years back. Why did the wife wait till now to come up with this case? Rape in any name is bad, condemnable, and this is the right judgment for it. But then, because there was a misunderstanding between the Dr. Femi Olaleye and the estranged wife now over the ownership of the property they have in Mende, Maryland. That's, the wife wanted the property at all costs, and the husband said, no, you won't have it. And that was why this case, and she threatened that if you won't release this property to me, I mean, that's why one has to be careful the kind of woman you marry when you dump your first wife. I am not saying that the raping your niece is justifiable.
Your wife's niece.
Your wife's niece. But yes, this thing happened while the lady was a minor, and they have been living with it, and she has been threatening him with, I will report you, I will do this also, until, at a point, the wife was alleged to have sent him out of the house for about a year before he came back to the house forcefully and now said, oh, so you have the guts to come back. Okay, by the time I take this case to court, then you will know that you won't have anywhere to come to. And that's when she took the case to court.
Like joke.
So, it's also similar to Baba Ijesha's case. How it was set up, of course.
No, the rate at which you are going.
No. No, did you know I said that?
Because you use the word set up now.
No.
The crime is
committed. I said it was.
Let the person pay for it.
No, I said
justice has already
it's not. It's condemnable. But I'm just giving a background. Of course, there are videos of where he was also molesting his clients.
This one?
Yes.
Now I saw the video where he was sleeping
I'm just,
with patients, not even clients.
Patients.
That's an abominable sexual...
Quite abominable. But like I said...
How can you be a doctor sleeping with
we need to give
patient?
A background to how they got to court. So, it's a sentence well-deserved.
Merited.
And it serves as a deterrent to others. But then...
It should be. You see, in many climes now...
We need to be very careful.
Many climes now, no matter how long rape has happened, the day you go and complain, the long arm of the law will catch up with that person, because it is believed that many people do not report rape.
Yeah, because
of
societal
family pressure
family
and the
pressure,
rest
yeah.
of that. And in those in those countries, in those climes, they see this as something that people live with for the rest of their lives. And it is usually when justice is served that they can take that thing out of their system. People are sexually abused at as early as 5 years. They live with it and they never recover from the trauma, from the mental agony. So it doesn't matter when the offense was committed. Do not commit it. Do not commit it. And I'm saying that in some climes, if you can come up to come and report, if it was 10 years ago that that person committed the offense, they will go and arrest him. They want to encourage people to come up. People who have been victims of rape to come up and not allow themselves to be blackmailed into silence. Because that's what the community does. They say, why now? People even go to the police station to report. They will humiliate the woman who came to report by saying, you said, do not enjoy it. I've attended webinars on rape, on sexual offenses. You pity some women when they tell their stories. You feel for them. They are forced to be silent. This thing is painful to them. It's a big trauma. The rest of their lives they live with it because the society taunts them. The society does not offer them any help. So they just decide not to report. How do you, even those policemen at the counter in police stations, they need training because some of the things that they say.
And the so-called stigma.
And we know it's very difficult to prove. So many people don't even bother to report. You know how many cases I've just, say family, they will call family, so yeah, they all between them, they will agree on some form of restitution by the rapist. Yet, at the end of the day, after a while, that person will still stop giving you what he promised to give you. So I have absolutely no sympathy. In this world, you see women all over the place. Some of them are literally even begging you. If you're a man of means, they will literally be begging you, come and have fun with me. You cannot do that. It is your wife's niece that you are sleeping with. It is your patient, somebody who came to you for Medicare. That is the person that you are now sleeping with. And it was recorded. Come on.
All right. As the race to the next set of off-season governorship elections intensifies, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is in the eye of the storm to deliver credible polls. As such, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has urged INEC to ensure free, fair, and credible governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states on the 11th of November. In a statement, the national chairman of IPAC, Yabagi Sani, said INEC is trying its best in its preparation, but a lot more needs to be done to ensure that the elections are each free and credible and sustainable in sustainable compliance with the provisions of 2022 Electoral Act. Mojit, because of the February outing and INEC, they have a lot of homework to do in terms of correcting any impression they might have given out there. So they have to perfect the modalities of this particular off-season election. If they are uploading, if they are going to make use of IRF, if they are not going to do that, they should not make any promise, especially when they are telling people real time.
Yeah, I think IPAC is raising this dust because the three states are peculiar states and very, very volatile. Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi. Two are similar. We have the incumbent seeking re-election in Imo and Bayelsa, while Kogi. Fresh candidates are going to be on the ballot in Kogi, but it's also very volatile because Yaya Bello in Kogi, the White Lion, want to see how peaceful Jide's state will be this time around. Yaya Bello wants to install Ododo as his successor, while the SDP candidate and the PDP candidate, that's Dino Melaye of the PDP, wants to take power. In fact, at a point, all the political parties decided that it is, they prefer one of them to take it rather than for APCs, that they would rather come together and
Let
face
them come together.
APC. But then,
It's easier said than
it's easier said than done. You see that on the day of the election, all of them will file out.
They are not coming together.
They will never come together.
You see no less than 6 or 7 candidates coming.
But Kogi is going to be in the eye of the storm, seriously, in November, while also Imo, I see Opus Odima fighting to retain that. But elections must be free and fair. While in Bayelsa, recall that Bayelsa, APC won Bayelsa 4 years ago. On the eve of the swearing-in, that was when the Supreme Court, because of the discrepancies in the name of the gubernatorial candidate of the APC, flipped it.
Not discrepancies.
Certificate.
Certificate forgery. Certificate forgery. Not by the governor, not by the governorship candidate, Edwoyediri, but by his running mate. His deputy. So, but now with Timipre Silva, APC wants to prove that yes, they are in control, they are in charge, and that they can
rest
power. Timipre will be there's still a court ruling, but I think APC has appealed that. So it's a very delicate balance in the 3 states. PDP, it's like a 50-50 chance for PDP, APC, and Labour in Imo. While, it's going to be like a 3-horse race. But Bayelsa, also very tough. Of course, although there's a problem within the ranks of the APC, while they have taken the candidates to court on the conduct of their primaries. So we hope that is resolved. But I think we see more volatility in Imo and Kogi than we see in Bayelsa. But it's an avenue for INEC to correct the impressions on transmitting elections on time, real time, especially with the use of beavers and the IREF, the one that couldn't happen during the presidential elections. But I don't see how that changes because results are announced at the polling units. And the same thing that you announce at the polling unit, nobody has come out to challenge the results from the polling units as being different from the ones posted on the website, or the ones the agents of the parties have. So that's why it's been difficult to prove rigging or overvoting at the presidential level.
Julie, when you look at the political parties and now INEC is not a nationwide election, it's just an off-season election for 3 states. So the INEC, they will pull their resources together, pull their staff together, and everybody to make sure they should give the best for these 3 states.
Yes, I trust INEC absolutely. My fear is about the politicians. What people must realize is that without the political class agreeing to behave responsibly, we cannot have a free and fair election. All of this blame being heaped on INEC, I don't see any sense in it because, look, this thing is like a relay. Everybody must play his part. INEC must ensure that ballot materials get to polling stations in good time so the election can start and end at the right time. INEC must train both its ad hoc and full-time staff so that they will be abreast with the use of the technology and even how they conduct themselves before voters. INEC must ensure that it abides by its own regulations, by its own guidelines. How about the politicians? How about the politicians? I can tell you the presidential election was much better than the governorship election in terms of compliance with the Electoral Act. By the time they saw that they could not bypass beavers, because INEC insisted that, look, there will be nothing like incident form, it has to be the beavers as the electronic accreditation module. Politicians resorted to violence. They would chase people away from places where they know that they stand no chance of winning. They will send thugs. We saw far more thuggery in subsequent election, after the presidential election. Nigerians should check to see whether I'm saying the truth or not. I saw violence that we didn't see in the presidential election, we saw in the governorship election. And that's why, for me, in terms of even the transparency, the way the elections panned out, the way it yielded people that we did not expect to win, the way they were able to win in the presidential election, talking about National Assembly members, such upsets we didn't see in the governorship election. How are you going to see upsets when people had become desperate? Every sitting governor wanted to win by all means. Where it was difficult for them, they sent in thugs. So, who are the people, if we are saying that, okay,
it was like a rollback on the achievement of presidential election?
Yes. People don't look at this thing because they are too biased. They are too biased. They will because the presidential election didn't go the way they wanted, they have been saying that, oh, that's the worst election in Nigerian history. People who have never seen more than 2 or 3 electoral cycles in their lives, they are talking about the worst election in Nigerian history. Did you see 1983? Did you see 1979? How many elections have you witnessed? You are not in position to talk about the worst election because you cannot even, maybe some of them can't even recall how 1983 election when they were in their diapers at that time. So if we are saying that there has to be Bayelsa election in 2019, there was a lot of violence, suppression of votes in places where they knew the opponent was stronger. We saw it also. We saw violence also in Kogi. It's not INEC that perpetrated violence. Now it's the politicians. So we should direct everything that the IPAC man is saying here is all about INEC. As if INEC can singularly conduct election and guarantee electoral integrity without politicians playing a part. So, of course, the IPAC people are politicians, so asking them to condemn themselves will appear like this thing, political or class suicide. But this fact is self-evident. Go and look out the number of cancelled votes in Sokoto in many of the states during the governorship election that we had across our country. You see that a lot of these things were planned. People making sure that the enemy or their political opponent didn't win in the places where they were strong. They sent talks to go and disrupt them. They do not see videos that Harvey Kano and others brought back of beavers being burnt in Ebonyi. So these things, we don't talk about these things because we chose to just focus on, oh, they didn't post on IREF during the presidential election. And to them, for that reason, that was a useless election. The governorship election in terms of violence and non-compliance with the Electoral Act was worse. And that's what we don't want such a thing to happen. We know the stakes are high. Governors want to remain in office. They want to plant their people. We know the stakes are high, but we need to talk to the Nigerian politician. The Nigerian politician is inherently greedy and power drunk. Desperate. We need to talk to their too desperate. And with desperate people like that, you cannot have electoral integrity. Except we are deceiving ourselves. It's not for INEC alone. INEC alone can't do it. We must get that clear. INEC alone can't do it. How are you supporting INEC to ensure that they achieve their aims? You are beating people up where you know they won't vote for you. You go and beat them up. How is that right?
So vote there.
How about?
All right, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more.
The Nigerian Army wishes to inform the general public and all interested qualified candidates of the commencement of online registration for 86 regular recruits intake for trades, non-tradesmen and women. Applicants must be single and Nigerian citizen by birth. Applicants must be medically, physically and psychologically fit in line with Nigerian Army standards. An applicant must not be less than 18 years and not more than 22 years for non-tradesmen and women, while tradesmen and women, both operators, drivers, mechanics and computer operators must not be more than 26 years as at commencement of training by 18th December 2023. Additionally, registered nurses and midwives below 30 years old may also apply. For more information on eligibility and requirements, please visit any recruitment website https://recruitment.army.mil.ng to complete online registration from 25th September to 27th October 2023. Nigerian Army recruitment is free. Join the Nigerian Army and contribute to the preservation and protection of Nigeria's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Brigadier General Aminu Mustafa Garba, Director, Directorate of Army Recruitment, Resettlement and Reserve. Announcer.
You're heading home from work. In the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar street lights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Thank you for staying with us. FJ, so we prepare for election as if we are going for war. We have election, we can't even copy what is happening in neighboring African countries.
The life and death of your hair.
We shut everywhere down.
See, the kind of powers that resides with the governors. That's why you see it is only in Lagos, and that's why Tinubu has been able to become governor. It's only in Lagos that we see a godfather nurturing governorship from 1999 till date. Tell me any other state. Peter Obi in Anambra, when he left, when he was leaving Anambra, went to bring somebody who doesn't know politics. He didn't stay 6 months before he before he displaced Peter Obi. Peter Obi could not go back to Anambra again. The same thing in Akwa Ibom. The Senate president, the current Senate president, enthroned Akpabio, Udom, is the one that now brought it. He chased Akpabio out of. That's why Akpabio left PDP and came to APC.
And because he can't do anything with the mandate.
Yes. So it's always happening. So
who did to
all of them.
Okay, in fact, the week that he took over, I started fighting them. That same week.
And these are the
Some
guys
of our friends
that went to bring.
Ogazimora, they chased them out of their quarters the same week that he became governor.
So you see,
chased them out of their quarters.
You see, there is no need for a governor to want to install a deputy.
Because there is no guarantee that he will support
yes,
you.
There is no guarantee that person
will fight you.
So just go and just the way the guy in Anambra that installed Soludo, we can't even hear of him again.
No, it's in US.
That's relocated.
Poppy.
Yeah, so for these governors, those are the kind of powers these governors have.
Not agree.
Soludo
will not be anybody's puppet.
It will take an exemplary Omoluabi for a governor to respect the person that installed him, because the power is too enormous.
It's too tempting.
It's too tempting. Before you say, hi, especially the security votes, you have access to power, to money. They won't allow you to do your aides will not allow
And
you
nobody,
to
so
that's why on election day, they want to do everything humanly possible to make sure that they win. They will not tell you
what is
go
even
to court.
The point in using all your resources, resorting to violence to install someone who will get there and start fighting you within weeks? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Because I don't just get it. You fight people, you look bad before people, all because you wanted to bring someone.
Yeah.
Look at what happened in Gombe now. When Senator Goje brought in the former Accountant General of the Federation.
Yeah, Danjuma Goje brought in the Accountant General. Yeah,
Dankwambo, according to him, turned against him. He didn't see him from the inauguration in the stadium. The only time he saw him was when his wife died. He came to meet him. And he said, this is the woman who used to take care of you. You come here. Come here regularly. In the end, immediately you became governor because he wanted to assert himself. That's what all of them want to do. Every governor wants to assert himself, and he would think that, oh, these people, because they help me to power, they won't allow me to assert myself. We saw it in Kwara too. Because all the people that they contested that APC ticket with, the governor fell out with all of them, not on talking terms with them. The people that you contested with, you know, one by one they left the party. Abdurrahman Oba, all of them, they left the party to go and contest. But he already had the power. And having unseated the Sarakis who could really harass him, he became strong.
Yeah.
The Sarakis couldn't chase him away. When I predicted that he would win the election, somebody sent me a message, this one, you got this one wrong. I didn't answer him. He won all the local governments.
To get revolution.
I left him. He said, I didn't get it. Okay, time will tell. He won all the local governments to have himself re-elected. He didn't concede a single local government to Saraki. Because already he had become governor, he had asserted himself, and he had begun to build his own oasis of power. This is the thing. If I were a governor, honestly, I would do myself best. Let anybody who can win. I will support my party.
Yesterday, I saw the Catholic mission, JDPC, signing peace accord, gathering all the candidates in Imo, signing peace accord. All of them were signing. I was like, doing like this to them. That accord ended where they signed it.
Where they signed
These politicians are the problem. They won't remember those accords they signed. They will be the one unleashing terror on youth corpers where they fail to get the youth corpers to compromise or the electoral officers. They'll beat them up and turn violent. It is this same political, this same IPAC.
They are the problem.
They are the problem. They should speak to themselves, not INEC.
I said I was looking at everything that the IPAC
INEC will provide the environment.
INEC should do this. INEC should do this. INEC should do this. INEC should ensure that security agents do not compromise. Who are the people who compromise security?
In Imo alone, the army is deploying 2,300 men. But even on
election day, you will see that
they will
won't
compromise
be able to
everybody.
Stop people from rigging.
Yes. So it's the politicians.
The question, where are they? Where are the people? They tell us that they are going to deploy civil defense. They are going to deploy navy. They are going to deploy
police. You will see police dogs.
50,000.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you will still see politicians chasing people away from places where they are not strong. That's why I said the politician is the problem.
They are.
You cannot just blame INEC and all that. You know, you have to share the blame if you are objective. Share the blame. Where you need to blame INEC, you blame INEC. For example, if materials don't get to a polling center on time, you can't blame politicians for that. It has to be INEC. That means something is wrong with their planning and the logistics. So, but riverine areas, the Oreo means they take ballot materials to them. These people will go and hijack ballot materials on the waterways. Who do we blame for that? Our elections looking like demonstrate our elections showing signs of barbarism. It is the politician that is behind it. Who are the people even misusing the soldiers and the policemen?
We had a former president who said it's a do or die affair.
Yes.
He said it's a worse.
That's how in his state they return votes higher than the number of registered voters.
Yes.
In an election, no. We had election in this country where they did not serialize the ballot papers.
Yeah.
And you will still say 2023 election is the worst. You don't know what you are talking about.
All right. And finally, like a tested, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is defying the odds and moving ahead with his reforms with their eyes on the trophy of the economic property for Nigeria. President Tinubu assures citizens and investors that there is an ongoing plan to boost the country's foreign exchange liquidity. Speaking at the 29th Nigeria Economic Summit in Abuja, the President assured business owners of additional foreign exchange liquidity to restore market confidence. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, corroborated this by stating that the country is expecting about $10 billion inflows in weeks, which will help to clear foreign exchange backlog and stabilize the naira. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers has accused terminal operators of incessant hike in the price of gas and limiting its availability to Nigerians. At a meeting with the Senate President, President of the association, Oladapo Latubosun, said the Nigerian natural liquefied gas has been consistent with its supply, but the cabals have disrupted the availability of gas to Nigerians. But first, let's share the story of the economic summit with you.
The 29th Nigerian Economic Summit, the President is a special guest of honor here. He highlights ongoing economic reform efforts, adding that challenges occasioned by removal of fuel subsidy and exchange rate unification are only temporary, as efforts are continuous in ensuring they are eased. The President also adds that his government is committed to giving Nigerians improved livelihoods and a level playing field for all. He adds that he is confident that by working closely with the private sector, financing the country's infrastructure stock can be achieved in the shortest possible time. He also assures of government's commitment to meeting its foreign exchange obligations.
Championing a credit culture to create an inclusive economy for all of us to discourage corruption, in addition to strengthening the effectiveness and efficiency of our anti-corruption agencies. Our government is committed to delivering improved livelihood and positive economic outcomes which Nigeria can tangibly feel and experience.
The President also made known that the implementation of the student loan program, which was signed into law earlier this year, will begin in January next year. He sought the private sector's support in driving economic growth, while also asking that deliberations at the summit bring about recommendations that will help actualize the nation's economic development objectives.
By January 2024, the new student loan program must commence.
Talks at the summit are centered around fostering a culture of innovation and creativity, fiscal and monetary policies, as well as strategies for inclusive development, amongst others.
Today, Mr. President, is holistic in its conception and reflects both the renewed hope agenda and the eight-point agenda.
Our nation stands at a critical precipice, and our challenges demand immediate, concerted efforts. We need to act now.
The theme for the 29th Nigerian Economic Summit is Pathways to Sustainable Economic Transformation and Inclusion. Lara Folayo, TBC News, Abuja.
Today, everything must be done to rescue the naira now.
Yes, we need very urgent an innovative solution to the liquidity crisis that we are facing in the foreign exchange market. The truth is, there were times in the past when we had enough buffers to defend the naira. Right now, we do not have enough forex in store to defend the naira. If you look back, there was a time when in a month, CBN had capacity to defend the naira to the tune of $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Today, they are struggling to defend it within the same period with $200 million. So I read what the minister said, that the supply to the market is just not there. So it's a problem that we must admit we have. And on top of this, there is a desire to clear the backlog. People that were already contracted to pay them certain amount of dollars and all that.
Yes,
if you do not pay those people, I've said it before, all of these trips that the president made with the intention of bringing in investors, you will not engender the kind of confidence that will make both foreign portfolio and direct investment to come into the country. So you must clear backlog. And as you are trying to clear the backlog, the supply to the domestic forex market will be hampered.
Even airlines.
Yeah, it's part of the... We are owing them.
We are owing.
We are owing them.
Come back to the country.
Why do you think some people have chosen to make Ghana an aviation hub in West Africa? Because they just don't trust us. If you want to travel now through Ghana, you want to get a BA ticket, even for Delta, you are going to have it cheaper, way cheaper in Ghana than in Nigeria. That's a reason, because even the volatility of your foreign exchange market, I don't know anywhere else where you experience this kind of volatility. That today, this morning, it is also, then in the evening, it has changed. At least I've been to some of the African countries, they don't have that illiquidity, it is stable. That is what we want to experience. For me, the president, they are thinking of the 10 billion coming into the system. That $10 billion, if it comes in, it will help us to a large extent because it will boost liquidity. And people need forex desperately to pay children's school fees, to import raw materials and all that. They will be able to access it. That will give us some level of breather. But the way it is now, the market is just not... People can't find enough. Yet, there are many Nigerians who have dollars under their beds. Some stash dollars in wardrobes. Politicians, so many dollars outside of the banking system. In fact, one person was saying, we are deceiving ourselves, we say we don't have dollars. It is in people's hands, stashed away. They are not ready to bring them into the official banking system. And people are now suggesting that, okay, here's the restrictions on domiciliary account, for example. Maybe that will encourage more people to come in, because government is taking steps, but the steps are not yielding dividend. You said, okay, bring back all the 43 items that you banned, because you felt that by doing that, because those items, some people are still looking for money to bring them in, despite the fact that you are not selling to them through official channels. They now felt, okay, if we tell them that they are free to bring it, maybe they will come to the official channel. And maybe diaspora remittances will also come direct into official channels instead of going to BDCs, going to the black market operators. But some of those measures will take time. I will be happy, for example, for diaspora remittances to be coming in through the official channel. But because of speculation, because of the gap between the official and non-official market, the gap stands at more than 18%. whereas the global benchmark is 5%. So if we allow the gap to continue to widen, we will not solve the problem because those people will send their dollars to the black market so that they can make more money.
Mujid, as at today, we are doing over 1,000 naira.
It's about 1,180, 1,200 now.
So how can we get it back to 750 or 720?
We're in a cul-de-sac. I'm optimistic that that will happen, but there are some, we can't continue to do things the same way and expect different results. First, a lot of things that have been happening in the past, we need to correct them. It is only in Nigeria that you go to a Sabo or Alade markets or Okeanin and you see people selling naira and dollar.
Go to Baga, you are going far.
It is only in
Around
Nigeria
your house, they sell it.
that you will
are
see
going all the way to Okeanin.
That you will see people doing like this, dollar pound, dollar pound. It is only in Nigeria that you see that. And it is only in Nigeria that people now warehouse, people now warehouse dollars, creating artificial scarcity so that some people can continue to frustrate the efforts of the official market. We are being driven now by the parallel or black market. That's what is determined. I mean, a country where somebody wants to change that, you first go and check Aboki Forex before telling you the rate. And they are manipulating. See, we are our own enemies. And also, people should ask the NNPC, the 450,000 barrels that they have been earmarking for local production over these years. At a point, they said they are swapping it for refined products. At the same time, we are paying for subsidy before the subsidy was cut off. I think we should revisit all those things. We should revisit them. The 450,000 barrels daily. You see, because at a point, at a time, we were relying on inflows from our crude sales to stabilize our dollar-naira exchange market. But even now, it will surprise you to know that the NNPC and the Nigerian upstream market, NNPCL, they don't even have crude oil to sell to Dangote refinery. Dangote had to make its initial first purchases of crude oil from neighboring countries.
I heard that too.
Yes, because, I mean, it's a futures market. They have sold into the futures market because it's not as if it's
outstanding.
Outstanding. They have outstanding commitments to meet. So we need a proper auditing, a forensic auditing of the NNPC. Until then, we can't get to the root of the kind of auditing that they did at the CBN. The CBN was not audited for almost 12 years.
Yes.
And we have the governor who sat there for 9 years. There was no auditing.
No auditing.
And a lot of revelations that will shake this country to its marrows will come out.
With an APC government in power,
I hope
we will have been seeing a lot of startling revelations.
I know that the president,
the way the economy was managed.
Yes,
that's why we are in this mess.
I hope the president will have the courage to deal decisively with the result of the forensic audit of the CBN.
Even this
P&ID,
there are Nigerians who colluded to defraud their own.
Yes, to defraud their own country.
They should be brought to put them on trial, ensure that they go to jail. That is how you instill sanity. Not by treating them, oh, these are our people, these are my people, let me try to cover them. No, they deserve to rot in jail. You don't go and connive with foreign entities against your country. I mean, it's shameful. People are saying, yes, we have won. But what will happen to those people who connive against their own country? And we are here.
We saw a former Attorney General, the immediate past Attorney General of the Federation, who was in a hurry to pay $419 million to some characters who claimed that they were able to, the judgment debt. In fact, now he was even begging some people to come and be collecting judgment debt. Now people
we don't have dollars.
We don't have the dollars.
We were told that we had 33 billion in our foreign reserve.
Whereas we are
only for these foreign agencies.
JP
Morgan and Goldman Sachs.
See,
say, you people don't know what you are talking about. You don't have more than 3.3.
Out of the 33 billion, there was a lien of this 11 billion on the account. Probably now it will be freed. So if we don't have that 11 billion, so it's part of, because as the case was going on, there was a lien of 11 billion in our foreign that you cannot do anything with it. So that came down to about 20, and so many others like that, hanging here and there.
And you collateralize loans with foreign reserve.
So
we
need to really do a lot. I mean, I don't envy Cardoso, Wale Edun, and Bagudu, the budget and planning minister. Those three guys, headed by Wale Edun, is the coordinating minister. They have, because by January, Nigerians want to listen to excuses. You must just
they must find a way.
We must find a way and fix it, because we can't allow. We should.
All of us are suffering now.
Yes, we can't allow the non-naira to continue to drift.
The more
we make a mess of whatever plans we have.
We are an import-dependent nation.
A nation.
Somebody was even suggesting that instead of spending so much money to defend the naira, why don't we support industries that we know are strategic and will earn us foreign exchange in the long run? You see what other countries are doing. We just have to copy them. A country like Ethiopia, they are exporting a lot of flowers. Flowers, roses and the rest of them, fresh. They have agropolis where they transport them.
The aviation sector.
Yes, they have very strong aviation sector. Agropolis, like setting up airports in rural areas. As they harvest those things fresh,
they are flying
them to Europe and America.
Moji Jami, thank you for your contribution. Vajidiri Kolade, thank you for your contribution today. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And don't forget to join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. Bye for now.
I'm happy to be hosting the 15th edition of the Indomie Heroes Award.
All I was thinking about at that moment was how to save my sister. Gas had exploded.
I've just run out of the house leaving her sister